They claimed it was out of reach. They said she didn't have the SmackDown look. They said Liv Morgan was too chaotic, too emotional, too reckless to ever be trusted with the blue brand. And yet here we are. Liv Morgan, Royal Rumble winner, and now SmackDown's biggest problem. Before you even settle in, answer me this in the comments. Was Liv Morgan ever supposed to win the Royal Rumble, or did WWE panic and pull the trigger too late? Because what happened after that Rumble win? That's where things get uncomfortable. That's where things get angry. And that's where SmackDown may have just been flipped upside down. Liv Morgan didn't just win the Royal Rumble, she survived it. 30 women, 30 stories, 30 egos clawing for one moment, and Liv Morgan walked through that chaos with blood on her hands and fire in her eyes. Let's not rewrite history here. This wasn't a clean, fairy tale victory. This was desperation. This was grit. This was a woman who's been overlooked for years, refusing to be ignored anymore. Think about it. How many times have we heard Liv has potential? How many times has she been one big win away? How many times did WWE tease us, then pull the rug out? And now suddenly, Royal Rumble winner. Be honest in the comments. Did you believe Liv Morgan was actually winning the Rumble when the match started, or did you think she was just there to fill a spot? Because that reaction, that doubt, that's exactly why this moment hit so hard. Now here's where things get controversial. Instead of staying put, instead of celebrating on the same brand, instead of taking the safe route, Liv Morgan packs her bags and heads to SmackDown. No warning, no slow build, no soft landing, just boom, new locker room, new enemies, new pressure. And SmackDown? SmackDown wasn't ready. Let's talk about that roster for a second. SmackDown is stacked with dominance, power, precision, calculated champions who thrive on control. And then Liv Morgan shows up like a live grenade with the pin already pulled. Ask yourself this. Does Liv Morgan actually fit SmackDown, or is she about to expose everything wrong with it? Because this isn't just a brand switch. This is a culture clash. Liv Morgan's entire career has been built on chaos. She doesn't wrestle to look pretty. She doesn't wrestle to play safe. She wrestles like someone who knows the clock is ticking. And that energy, that desperation, it's dangerous on a show like SmackDown where order is currency. From the moment she stepped onto that blue canvas, you could feel it. Eyes followed her. Conversations stopped. Champions tightened their grip on their titles just a little harder. Because Liv doesn't walk like someone happy to be there. She walks like someone ready to take something. Now let's address the elephant in the room. The Royal Rumble win guarantees her a WrestleMania title match. But SmackDown already has its queens, its gatekeepers, its protected stars. So the real question is, who loses their spot because Liv Morgan showed up? Because someone always does. This is WWE. Opportunities aren't created, they're stolen. And Liv Morgan didn't come to SmackDown to be polite. Here's what makes this even more explosive. Liv Morgan isn't the underdog anymore. That label, that sympathy, gone. She's walking in with leverage, with momentum, with the kind of win that forces management to listen. And suddenly the excuses disappear. No more she's not ready. No more the timing isn't right. No more maybe next year. So if she fails now, that's it. Ask yourself and answer honestly. Is this Liv Morgan's last real chance at the top, or does she still get protected if it all falls apart? Let's talk psychology. SmackDown champions don't fear underdogs. They fear unpredictability. Liv Morgan doesn't move like a champion who plays by the book. She moves like someone who's willing to burn the book down. And that makes her dangerous. Every stare down, every backstage glance, every welcome to SmackDown that sounds just a little too fake. Because deep down, they know something. Liv Morgan doesn't need to dominate. She just needs one mistake. And that Royal Rumble performance? That wasn't luck. That was ring IQ. That was survival instinct. That was someone who studied every pattern, every rhythm, every ego in that ring. She didn't overpower everyone. She outlasted them. Which raises another uncomfortable question. Is Liv Morgan actually smarter than the women SmackDown has been protecting for years? Let's rewind to WWE now, February 6, 2026. Liv Morgan isn't smiling like someone who just achieved a dream. She's intense, focused, almost angry. That tells you everything. This wasn't about validation. This was about revenge. Revenge for every time she was benched, every time momentum was killed, every time someone else leapfrogged her. SmackDown just inherited all of that baggage. And here's where the locker room tension skyrockets. Because Liv Morgan doesn't need allies right now. She needs targets. And SmackDown is full of women who've built their reigns on consistency and predictability. Liv is the opposite. She thrives in mess. So tell me, who should be most afraid of Liv Morgan on SmackDown right now and why? Drop names. Don't be shy. There's another layer people aren't talking about. Brand loyalty. SmackDown stars protect SmackDown. They see outsiders as threats. Liv Morgan didn't earn her place there through years of blue brand loyalty. She earned it in one violent night at the Royal Rumble. That makes her an invader. And invaders get tested hard. Imagine the pressure. Every match now is a statement. Every promo is dissected. Every stumble is magnified. Because the moment Liv looks shaky, the narrative flips. See, she wasn't ready. See, that Rumble win was a fluke. See, SmackDown chewed her up. And WWE loves nothing more than letting the internet argue itself into a frenzy. So ask yourself, is WWE actually setting Liv Morgan up for success or setting her up to fail publicly? And let's not ignore the fans. Liv Morgan's fanbase is loud, passionate, protective. SmackDown crowds are different. They don't hand out love. They demand dominance. If Liv wants them, she has to take them. No sympathy pops, no nostalgia cheers, just results. What makes this even wilder? Liv Morgan now controls the WrestleMania narrative. SmackDown's title picture? Frozen. Every champion is looking over their shoulder. Every contender is panicking, because one Rumble winner can derail months of plans. And Liv Morgan doesn't care about anyone's long-term storytelling. She's here for her moment. Think about the timing. New era, new expectations. WWE has been screaming about evolution, change, fresh faces. Well, this is it. So if Liv fails now, that message collapses. Which leads to one final, brutal question for you. If Liv Morgan doesn't leave WrestleMania as champion, was this entire run a lie? SmackDown didn't just gain a Royal Rumble winner. It gained pressure, scrutiny, and a walking reminder of every missed opportunity WWE has ever made. Liv Morgan isn't asking for permission anymore. She's daring SmackDown to stop her. And based on what we saw at the Royal Rumble, good luck with that. Now I want to hear from you. Was this the smartest move of Liv Morgan's career, or the beginning of the biggest heartbreak she's ever faced? Comment, argue, share this with someone who still doubts her. Because whether you love her or hate her, SmackDown belongs to Liv Morgan now. Alright, let's pick up exactly where we left off, because SmackDown isn't done shaking yet. Buckle up. Here's the uncomfortable truth: Liv Morgan doesn't play politics. Most stars on SmackDown have mastered the art of coasting. They wait their turn. They smile when cameras are on, nod politely backstage, and let management make the big decisions. Liv, that's not her style. She doesn't whisper. She doesn't wait. She attacks. She seizes. She forces you to pay attention whether you like it or not. So ask yourself, and I want you to comment this one, which SmackDown champion is going to snap first when Liv starts making waves? Because make no mistake, someone will break first. Now think about the matchups. The Royal Rumble gave us a glimpse of her strengths, endurance, unpredictability, and timing. But SmackDown has different rules, different pacing, different expectations. And the women in that locker room, they know every trick in the book. But Liv thrives in chaos. She doesn't just play the book, she rips it apart. And that's where it gets really interesting for WrestleMania. She has options, not just one path, not just the expected championship match. She could challenge for the top title. She could insert herself into multiple feuds. She could even turn a mid-card feud upside down. Here's a tricky one for you viewers. Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you were booking Liv Morgan on SmackDown for the next 90 days, who does she face first and why? No one is safe. And let's talk about momentum, because WWE loves to pretend it's a story but momentum doesn't lie. Liv Morgan's Royal Rumble win was electric. People were screaming. Social media exploded. Memes were made in seconds. The energy she's bringing to SmackDown? Off the charts. Now imagine every single top-tier SmackDown star feeling that energy against them. Every match she enters, fans will be rooting for her to succeed. Every misstep will be magnified. Every title defense will feel like a ticking time bomb. And honestly, the more I think about it, the angrier this should make some fans. Because Liv Morgan hasn't earned this in the traditional sense, at least, not in WWE's eyes. She's clawed her way here. She's endured being overlooked, mocked, and written off. And now, she's standing where many of her critics thought they'd never see her. So here's a heated one for the comments. Do you think Liv Morgan is actually being rewarded, or is WWE just doing this because they had no better option? Let's dive into the psychology of SmackDown itself. The blue brand has always been about control, precision, stars who look polished and predictable, champions who know exactly how to command a match and a crowd. Enter Liv Morgan, a walking wild card with no filter, no safety net, and a killer instinct that hasn't been honed for SmackDown's safe environment. This isn't just a clash, it's a revolution waiting to happen. And make no mistake, the SmackDown locker room will notice immediately. They'll whisper, they'll test her, they'll try to isolate her. But here's the thing, Liv thrives under pressure. She's built her career on proving the doubters wrong, and SmackDown is loaded with doubters. So ask yourself, will the locker room try to take her down first, or will they underestimate her and pay the price later? Now let's zoom in on the potential WrestleMania match. Everyone assumes that Royal Rumble winners get a clear path to the title, but WWE doesn't operate in assumptions, they operate in conflict. Every top star will see Liv as a threat. Every match could be a feud generator. Every promo could ignite the entire brand. And that's where the real strategy comes in. Will Liv target the champion immediately, or will she build momentum with a series of shocking wins against top contenders? Here's a debate starter for the comments. Do you think Liv should go straight for the title at WrestleMania or play mind games first to weaken her opponents? Here's a layer most people ignore: brand politics. WWE loves loyalty angles. SmackDown stars are proud of their brand. They see themselves as gatekeepers. And now WWE dropped in a woman who didn't pay her dues on blue brand soil but carries a Royal Rumble win like a loaded gun. She's an invader, a disruptor, a threat. And that makes her storyline inherently explosive. You can already imagine the tension backstage. Secret alliances forming, targets being chosen. Mentions of "this isn't her time" whispered in every hallway. Which leads to another question for the comments. Who on SmackDown do you think will try to align with Liv Morgan, and who will betray her first? And now let's talk fan reaction, because Liv Morgan's journey is about more than just in-ring action. Her fanbase is devoted, loyal, and vocal. But SmackDown crowds? They can be tough. They demand respect and dominance. Liv can't just rely on her Royal Rumble win to carry her. She needs results, and she needs them fast. Every match, every promo, every appearance is a statement. SmackDown fans will test her, and she needs to survive that scrutiny while still dominating the ring. So here's a challenge for you viewers. Which SmackDown crowd reaction will define Liv Morgan's first few weeks? Will they embrace her or test her mercilessly? And let's not forget the bigger picture. Liv Morgan's arrival changes everything. Not just for titles, not just for storylines, not just for WrestleMania, but for the entire brand ecosystem. She forces WWE to rethink matchups, promos, and feuds. She makes other stars adjust their pacing and strategies. She even forces writers to rewrite history and plans. No one escapes. And that's exactly why her journey will be so intense, so controversial, and so addicting to watch. So now, as we edge closer to the climax of this story, WrestleMania is looming. SmackDown is shaking. Liv Morgan is walking a razor's edge between triumph and disaster. Every eye is on her. Every star is watching her. Every fan has an opinion, and they're waiting to explode in the comments section. And that's exactly what makes this moment unforgettable. I want you to leave your thoughts below. Who is Liv Morgan's first major SmackDown target, and why? Do you think WWE is genuinely committed to her as a top star, or just testing the waters? If she loses at WrestleMania, does this ruin her career or make her comeback even more legendary? Comment, argue, predict, debate. Because Liv Morgan isn't just a wrestler, she's a story, a storm, and a movement. SmackDown will never be the same. If you want, I can continue this next segment and write the final 1,000 plus words where we break down potential feuds, backstage politics, match predictions, and explosive WWE Insider chaos scenarios that will keep viewers glued to the screen and commenting non-stop. Do you want me to continue with that?